I guess I started with the federal government during a time when there was not a lot of permanent positions, and I worked as a seasonal, and I was actually completely happy with that. I had my ski career in the winter and my fire and botany career going on during the summer, and so but as I worked longer, I realized that I wanted to be, I guess, kind of move up, and I was interested in this fire ecology position. So one of the challenges was I needed to have a better education. So I started, I went to graduate school and I got a degree in plant ecology, and then I started applying to real jobs, I guess, as it is, and it took a while. I was a seasonal and I was a term position, and gosh, probably almost 12 years later, I ended up in a permanent position. And so that's one of the challenges. I guess, fire is a pretty male-dominated field, and that actually, surprisingly to me, was not one of my stumbling blocks. I started on a crew that had a lot of women on it. There was the foreman, I think, was a woman, and the squad boss were women, and so I had kind of, I didn't see that as a roadblock, but I think for a lot of people it can be, and hopefully we're all working towards getting over those roadblocks.
Early in my career, I didn't have a very good handle on work-life balance, on taking care of myself while also achieving the mission of the National Park Service. And I really weighted my life heavily towards the work element. And I found myself to be very unhealthy. I found myself in a place where I had a lot of stress in my life, where I was working many long hours and odd hours, and where my health and my mental well-being were taking a toll. And so as I've moved up in the National Park Service and had the opportunity from a leadership perspective to become involved and engaged in some of these decisions, that's been a really important driver for me to try to find resources and make resources available for the law enforcement rangers who are still out in the field doing the work, to make sure that they have what they need to stay happy, healthy, and whole through the course of their career.
So a challenging thing working in wildland fire is when I started a family. So having 2 kids and having a career that doesn't have standard hours and that's traveling a lot, having a young family was difficult. How overcame that was, working with my husband he was able to have stable hours. So that allowed me to pursue my career in wildland fire. So that was challenging. Of course, being pregnant, breastfeeding and nursing and having young kids is challenging in a career that's really dynamic and changes all the time. So we could be responding to a fire or just different hours. So that's been super challenging. Having a support network is really important. So we didn't have a family that was close by, but we relied upon our park family per se, so others to help us out with watching kids and picking up kids from daycare. So that was a real challenge to having a young family and working in wildland fire.
So one of the biggest challenges that I've presented to me in my career to stay on this path for law enforcement was actually balancing the responsibilities of as a mother and as a wife and career. The challenges are present and they're real, but I've overcome them, was absolutely adapting to the changes at that time in that moment. I've had to change agencies, move across the country, and I've had to adapt to the changes that were presented at that time. Is it easy? It is not. But is it worth it? Absolutely. So I don't want to give you false hope, but it is challenging when you are trying to balance work and home life, and if you have the responsibilities. But it's doable. You just have to adapt and overcome as things are presented.